All right. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Jason. Thank you so much for
Hey.
joining me here today on Vonvo.com. Today's date is April 13th, 2013, and we're here to discuss gay rights in America. I just wanted to go over two quick things before we got our discussion started. The first is that right now this conversation is being recorded, and after the recording is completed, we'll be uploading this video to the internet to our YouTube channel. Is that okay with both of you?
Yes,
Yes.
I solemnly swear.
Great. And then on top of that, here at Vonvo, we're all about our discussions staying both civil and valuable. We don't want there to be any personal attacks against anyone. Are you fine with that ground rule as well?
Yes.
Jason? No, I'm kidding. No, but for anyone who's watching in the audience right now, Jason, would you mind just giving quickly a background of yourself and why you're so passionate about this topic? And then Vicky, if you could do that afterwards, that'd be great.
Well, thank you, Max. I was on the X Factor. That's where most people know me. This year, I was on the X Factor. I was in the top 12/13 because I was bumped to 13 by a cute little girl who was very talented. But I'm a singer and actor, and I live in San Francisco, and I do a lot of stuff all over the country, but most of it in San Francisco. And I have a boyfriend who lives in Japan. We can't get married because it's not legal federally. So even if we get married in a state where it's legal, he still can't get legal status here like straight people can. So that's one reason I'm passionate about. That's more like marriage equality, which is part of gay rights to me. But I mean, I'm passionate about gay rights completely because I hate to see anyone treated unfairly. Anyone, including myself or people that are gay like me, because I'm gay. I just want to tell everyone for the first time that I'm gay.
Woo!
Okay, that was the first time. Definitely not the first time. But anyway, okay, that's it for me.
All right, great. And Vicky?
I'm actually an ally. I have a very strong passion of human rights, of civil rights, and I have a transgender family member, and it took me a very long time to come to terms with all of that because I grew up in a religious type environment where there was a lot of guilt and stuff, and I always kind of felt like I was different, like I grew up around a lot of people who are gay, and I feel more at peace home around, gay people, although I'm not, questioning my sexuality or anything. I also work with youth and a lot of gay youth, and that is one of my passions, to make sure that young people really feel like they're okay with who they are and that they can express themselves. And I really, really want to see gay rights and everybody be married and it be equal for everybody. So that's who I am, and I'm just excited to be here.
Great. And awesome. So just quickly, what I was going to say is, Amy, if you want to participate in this discussion, do you have any headphones by any chance? Because I'm hearing a little bit of an echo.
Don't. Sorry, no headphones.
No headphones. All right. Could you just make your volume a little bit lower, if you don't mind, so that the reverberation goes away?
Like that?
Feedback.
Yeah, exactly. All right, great. Amy, do you want to give an introduction of yourself quickly if you want to participate in this discussion?
I'm having trouble hearing, so probably not. I don't do these video chats very often. I do want. Could I just comment on something Vicky said?
Yeah, go ahead, and then if you want,
I think it's wonderful, Vicky, about being an ally and how that's moved you to, encourage other people to come out. I had when I came out as transgender, my family was my siblings were not terrifically supportive, and that was really, really hard when you have people that you think you can rely on, your family, to support you when they don't. So it's really important that you supported a family member and that you carried that into the broader community. That's truly gift from you.
Thank you. It's taken me a long time to really be 100% at peace, and now I value and I honor this person, and I understand it and on a whole new level. And it's like I'm happy, and I'm happy that this person is who she really is, who she's meant to be, and it's a blessing to watch this person take shape from being a man to really coming out and being a female and going through that transition to actually being full transgender. And it's like, I don't have to be ashamed of it. I don't have to be ashamed of myself. Like, it's amazing. I want other people to know, and especially youth. Like, there are a lot of teenagers who are growing up today in society, and their parents are telling them they're bad and wrong, and their church and school and all these people who look up to them are making them feel like they're horrible people because they have something they were born with. Being gay isn't something you choose. Being gay is something that God puts inside of you and that you're born with. So they make other people feel horrible or bad about themselves because they were born a certain way. We should all love and respect and honor each other. And I know I live right now in the Bible Belt, but I wasn't born here. I was born in Massachusetts. And Massachusetts is a lot more open and welcoming and, you know, I don't want to say liberal, but down here, people are so like, okay, this is the Bible says this, and it's making a lot of my gay family members feel like crap because it's like, okay, I feel like I'm sinning against God because I am who I am what I was born with, and it's not fair, and it's not okay, and we need to change that.
No, it's great, and the passion is awesome. So, you know, I guess then what I'll say would be, you know, so ultimately, when it comes to this debate over this topic, Vicky and Jason, I mean, and just so you know, if you're hearing the reverb of Amy's camera, if you just want to mute her camera, that will remove it. I don't know if you already did that or not, but if you're hearing that echo,
how do you do that?
Just put your mouse over her camera, and you can click the volume button and just lower it. Okay.
The only problem is we won't be able to hear her when she talks.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So she left her computer at this point. But what I was going to say is, when it comes to this debate, guys, do you find this a debate over religion or civil rights? Can you kind of, you know, each of you go back and forth on that concept? Go ahead, Jason.
Oh, I have an opinion about that. Well, for one, I think that the reason people have problems with gay people having rights or whatever, being treated like other people, like normal human beings, like, is because some people just are homophobic, like afraid or hateful of gay people or LGBT people, lesbian, gay, bi, trans. So, you know, some people feel that way, and they justify the hatred or fear with the Bible, with a religion, maybe not even the Bible, but with a religion that backs up that homophobic view. So I think that a lot of times when people are religious and they say they don't like gay people, I could be wrong, but I think it's their own personal feelings, and they're using religion as a way to justify them.
Right. Great. So, and I'm not just sure exactly what happened to Vicky. One second.
Vicky disappeared, huh?
Exit Vonvo, and I just told her what to do though. So one second, rejoin the chat room.
Okay.
So ultimately, I mean, Jason, what's your impression of those people that really, you know, take a religious standpoint on this? Do you kind of disrespect them? Do you not appreciate their opinion? Can you kind of talk about, you know, those people who feel that way?
Yeah, my own mother is one of those people. So my mother thinks it's wrong to be gay. And so that's just her opinion. But she backs it by religion. She's very religious, very Christian. She tells me that's the reason she thinks it's wrong, because God says it's wrong. But I think that there's more to it than that. I think, like, in the institutions that believe that God says that being gay is wrong, that those institutions are actually homophobic, and they hold on to that because those religious institutions hold on to that because they really hate or dislike or fear or whatever gay people. But then they have a really strong backing because they believe the Bible, in the Christian example, is the Word of God. So, like, my mom takes out the Bible sometimes and she's like, see, here's where it says being gay is wrong. And it makes me so sad because, you know, I'm her son. I think she should love me more than what her religion says. And, yeah, I personally am not religious, but I used to be. That's how I was raised.
Right.
But, you know, these people who believe that being gay is wrong because the Bible said so or because their religion said so, my opinion is, like, you know, kind of unpopular maybe, but I think it's ridiculous to believe in a fictional character like God or Jesus saying that you are wrong, you know, and rejecting people based on what that, in my opinion, fictional character says.
Right. Vicky or Amy? Amy, I see you got headphones back, and Vicky, you're back. Sorry about that disconnection. I'm not too sure what happened, but ultimately, your stance on people who, you know, have a religious sort of angle to this conflict, or excuse me, to this subject. Like, what's your impression of those people? Do you respect what their feelings on the subject because of that, or not really see where they're coming from? I guess Vicky, you can address that, and then Amy, you can go afterwards.
I went to once. I kind of found myself in a strict Southern Baptist church, and it was horrible. The minister is on the pulpit saying how horrible gay people are. They're going to hell. A gay pastor called him one day, and he's like, and I told him this and this, and let me tell you something, he'll never call me again. And then the whole church was like, amen, brother. And I was literally sitting in the back of this church fuming, because I grew up Episcopalian, and I know several, you know, reverends who are gay, and I mean, and it's beautiful, and it's great, and I love it. And just to hear this man and just the homophobic slurs he was saying to all these people, and like a congregation of 200 and something, like, amen, brother, gays are going to hell. Like, are you serious? Really? How do you know? How do you judge? Because, being gay is a gift from God, in my opinion. And love is love. Love doesn't, like, see gender. Love sees, like, somebody's heart, somebody's soul. So who are you to judge? Especially somebody there who's like a man of God. You're a man of God, but yet you're judging people. He needs to take a look at himself and the place that he's in. If he's anointed and called by God to do what he's doing, don't turn a group of people against another group of people. So that was just, that was so ridiculous. It pissed me off so bad, and like I either wanted to say something to the guy, punch him, but see, I have strong values. I have very, very strong values, and I got up and I walked out respectfully, but I really wanted to put my finger up and say, you, man, like, you're just freaking ridiculous, and I never want to go into this building, like, again, like, and put up my, like, rainbow flag or whatever in protest, because it was just so ridiculous. Many Southern Baptist churches that do that. I mean, I post a lot about gay rights on my Facebook page, and a lot of my coworkers, they see that, and they're like, oh, well, you're gay, and whatever, and they say it in a negative way, like, oh, being gay is supposed to be wrong, are you kidding me? Like, oh, I'm gay, that means I'm wrong, or I'm bad. You're not a bad person if you're gay, you're not a bad person, or you're not wrong, just get over yourself. But you know what, though, it's a lot. People are brought up that way, you know, like a lot of these older Southern people are brought up that way, thinking that gay people are wrong, homophobes are, like, people who are gay are wrong or bad, and we need to change them, and let's hypnotize them, and let's go and give them electric shock therapy, or let's go to counseling, and maybe they'll change. Come on now. My family member, he went to lots and lots and lots of counseling. He's a transgender woman, and happy as can be, wasted all this money in counseling for this counselor to be like, oh no, you just use, that's how you're transgender. No.
Right.
You know, I went to one of those organizations too, like when I was a teenager. I was sent to, what is it called, an ex-gay ministry to become ungay, and let me tell you, that did not work. I was so young, and like, you know, I didn't know who I was very well, so I went because my mom said you should go. But you know,
When did you go to this, Jason? Like, and how old are you now?
I'm 35 now. I was like 21 or 20. I wasn't a teenager. I was young, and I had just come out, like I think at 19. But I've been raised with this really, really Christian values, you know. And I went to that place, and I'll never forget. I felt sad then, and I still feel sad now, of seeing people who are gay or whatever, bi, lesbian, trans, trying to undo their orientation or gender. You know what I mean? Like, they were trying to become what Christians wanted them to be, or what mainstream, you know, closed-minded Christians wanted them to be. And that's really sad when you're becoming what others want you to be just to please them. Because those are their opinions. It's not you are gay, or like, I am gay. Why should I become straight just to please you? You know? Like,
exactly.
Or anyone. Yeah. But it's sad. It's sad that people do that. They do try to become straight when they're gay, or stay in the closet and try to be accepted.
I have a lot of kids. A lot of my students who I work with, I mean, same thing. Like, it's, I don't want to get into a race thing, but it's more harder for African Americans to come out. So I have a lot of my young people who I work with who are gay, and they will do everything in the world to try to hide it, to act like they're not. But they come and they talk to me, and it's like my classroom is like a safe place for them because they know, like, I'm going to embrace you with open arms. I love you. I don't care who you love, what you love. I see you as you. You know what I mean? So, but it's like they try so hard because they don't want to bring shame to their family. They don't want to bring, you know, their friends, their boys, their homies will neglect them or say that they're wrong because of who they are. So, it's sad. It's sad.
Sorry. There's a gospel singer, Kirk Franklin. I swear he's gay. And I love him. But you know what I mean? Like, I think he's in the closet. Now, I could be wrong. I'm totally using my gaydar here. But, you know, there's some people I'm pretty sure are gay that are still hiding it in the industry, too.
Right.
Yeah, I know a musician of one of my favorite bands. Same thing. I'm like, he's gay, but he's hiding it because if he comes out, then it's like, okay, you're going to alienate people. You're not going to lose your fan base because you're so good looking and you're the front man of this band. But, yeah, and he's living a straight life. And I promise you, I believe he's gay.
I get so sick of that, like, we have to condition ourselves. And I'm in entertainment, too, so I have to do this to a certain extent. But I don't want to do it that much. Like, you know, the people in entertainment, they're told to act a certain way because this is what their fans will like. And, you know, being gay is one of those things. Like, me being completely out and open from the very beginning on the X Factor was, I mean, no one ever told me not to. But it was, you know, it's not always the best thing for votes, you know, when you're voting.
That's why I love Adam Lambert. I am, like, obsessed in love. I love, 100% just love Adam Lambert. His music, who he is, that's why I just love Adam.
Right.
Yep, he's totally out.
Amy, did you have any thoughts on what some of these what, you know, Vicky or Jason is you know, referencing? Did you want to chime in at all?
Well, I have some particular thoughts about, you know, religious prohibitions. I think that they are have been twisted from what they originally were intended for. It's mostly Old Testament stuff, mostly meant to continue propagation of the tribe. A lot of the stuff about marriage in the Old Testament is about property rights, which is actually where our modern Christian and civil laws about marriage come from. I have a different experience with religion. I grew up in the UCC church, the Congregational Church, and they've been traditionally one of the most liberal churches, the first church to ordain women, the first church to ordain black ministers. And my wife is actually a music director at a local UCC church. And when she interviewed for that job, one of the things they talked to her about was, they were very serious about this in the interview, thinking that they were going to be more liberal than she was because she had a background she's a recovering Catholic, I guess is what she would put it. They said, we take diversity very seriously. How do you feel about that? And she said, well, let me tell you, I happen to be married to a transsexual, and I love her very much, and I would want to know how seriously you guys actually take diversity. And they were thrilled. And I sense, I'm not a terribly religious person, although I've had a lot of contact with the faith community. But I have taken part in what they have a series they call Sacred Conversations. And I'm going to repeat a talk that I did for them about a year ago in an effort to help people understand about gender and sex diverse people. So my experience with the UCC Church has been wonderful. I also spoke at the National Synod for the UCC Coalition a couple years ago. That was a wonderful experience to have ministers from all over the world actually come up and want to talk about how do we welcome trans people into our congregation.
That's cool. That's
important.
Yeah,
it is a totally kind of a different experience than folks. So I can't really speak to Vicki, what you were talking about. And certainly, Jason, the whole ex-gay thing is a horribly pernicious. It is the most egregious affront to sensibilities that I can't even think of. I live in Michigan. We have a thing going on here right now. A former state representative. You may have seen some of this if you watch any of the cable news networks. Dave Agma, former state rep. He's a Republican National Committee man. He represents the state of Michigan on the RNC. He posted some stuff on Facebook that was all about, this is a filthy lifestyle and gays are responsible for over half the murders in the large cities, and they're prone to depression, and it's some pretty out there stuff, and it's created a huge stir nationally, actually.
Well, I just hate it when people come out
lots
and say...
of Republican officials from across the state here have been calling for his resignation from the RNC. And I do a lot of political work in Michigan, and we just called out the local reps in the area that I live and asked them to, comment on Dave Agne's positions on marriage equality and how he feels about gay people in general. And, we got one of them to actually go on the record that she thought he was way out of line, but she stopped short of calling for him to resign. So,
well, it seems like there's a lot of people that use gay people as the scapegoat, I guess you would say. But the reason for the problems in the country is because we let those gays do what they want, and those gays with their big parades, they're just making God angry, and he's going to cause a big earthquake. I think it's ridiculous.
They're the problem with North Korea. They're the reason why Korea has gone insane. Kim Jong, whatever. Yeah, it's the gays. Blame the gays.
Right. He's probably having gay sex on the side. You never know.
That's right.
That must be it.
The whole Pat Robertson thing, that 9/11 was punishment.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah.
The Westboro Baptist Church, folks, and I think that there was a lot of that about Hurricane Sandy.
Those crazy mother bleepers, they just want attention. If you've seen the news, there was this gay guy who bought a house right next door and painted it rainbow. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. But see, if I saw that. That is the most badass thing ever to do. That is just freaking great. I posted that right on my Facebook. I'm like, hell yeah, yes. But see, where I live, and if I put, if I put a Atlanta Falcons flag on my house, it would be great. If I put a rainbow flag outside my house, people would not only tear it down and burn it, but I'd have egged or, toilet papered or, whatever. And it's ridiculous. Really? Come on now. Seriously, I wear rainbows all the time. I'm an ally, but I wear rainbows, gay rights shirts, all kinds of stuff all the time. I don't care what y'all think about me. And there was a point in my life where I did care, but now it's shit, I don't care what you think about me because I'm going to stand up for everybody. I am an equal opportunity person here, so
you go,
yeah.
Vicky.
Understand that the vilifying, the othering of people is merely an extension of othering of racial minorities.
Yeah.
And it is largely driven by our political system for power. It's an extension of Lee Atwater politics that became the central theme of electoral politics from the Republican Party in the early 70s. It was the way that they actually got at late 60s, early 70s. It's how Nixon was elected. And then in 1980, there was a huge sellout to the religious right as a voting bloc. And the whole Reagan era doubled down on cultural issues as, the wedge issue politics became the standard operating procedure for the GOP. And I'm sorry if somebody here is a Republican, but it is a cynical use. It is a cynical use of fear mongering about people that are different, attitudes that are different, in order to gain
that's exactly
electoral advantage.
Because anyone can get people on their side by making fun of a very small minority or kind of vilifying them.
It's kind of like back in high school. I don't know if y'all remember, back in high school was and I've spoken about this before, but yeah, if you were gay or people knew about it in high school and you weren't out, there'd be a slew of people making fun of you, shoving you in a locker, throwing you around the bathroom. It was ridiculous. And I truly believe this because there is a shift going on in this world. There really is. It's now cool to be gay. I know we talk about, hiding or whatever, a lot of the, kids, hiding who they are. But outside of that, if we really look more around, it's kind of the thing. It's cool to be gay now. There's straight kids. It's hey, I want to be gay, So I like that. That's really cool.
So question, do you
it's
think...
It's a shift I never thought we'd see.
Do you think that sort of promotion should be taking place? Just because Vicky kind of brings it up, do you think that that sort of rhetoric should be communicated to people, or not necessarily? You're just saying that that's what's starting to happen.
I think people being gay and just out in the world, no one's really telling people being gay is cool. It's just that it is, because obviously I'm gay and I'm really cool, and all gay people are really cool.
Oh yeah.
So really, it's amazing. That's why straight people are so jealous.
Because right now in Miami, there's a gay pride parade, and Miami is just off the chain right now. I've been checking my Facebook and stuff because I got friends down there, and Adam Lambert's down there. Miami's got it popping down there.
Well,
you have no idea.
If you look at, it's interesting how we're all from different places and how our views of how it is to be gay in each of our places is a little different. But in San Francisco, where I am, it's it is considered by some people to be the gay mecca. I think it's the second largest gay population in the country. And, when we go to our neighborhood, De Castro, there's a big rainbow flag, and it's a totally gay embracing place. But it's really a mixed community too, straight and gay. It's not only gay, and it's becoming more and more mixed. Some people are starting to have a problem with that, which is interesting. Some gay people are it's all turning straight, but it's just a lot of gay people are accepting too of that. And I would say it's because gay is so mainstream in this city that definitely not an issue here. You don't even really, I don't know, you don't even really have to make that big of a deal out of it here because you probably, there's a good chance that you're gay. If you run into them, there's a good chance they might be gay. You know, maybe, I don't know what the percentages are.
Yeah.
But people are so accepting and supportive here. But then you go outside of San Francisco, like if I go to Texas, it's totally a different world. You know,
Yeah.
and I have to get used to people saying these stupid religious things that I can't even believe they're saying. Well, honey, I love you, but not the same. You know, you're a homosexual. I don't love that about you, but I love you. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, like, if you love me, you're gonna love all of me, and, like, being gay is me, so if you don't, like, love the thing, because being gay is apparently a thing, then go, shove your finger in a light socket and go fuck yourself, because this is who I am, so...
All right.
Can we say that word?
Yeah, we try to keep it clean, but that's okay. We give second chances. So
You know, there's an interesting thing that happened. I was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention this year. I was one of 14 transgender delegates. Out of 6,000 delegates to the DNC,
cool.
there were 250, make that 500 LGBT delegates in general. And it was sort of the year of the woman and the year of the gay at the DNC, because it was the first time that there was a solid national platform that embraced marriage equality and employment and housing non-discrimination as part of the Democratic Party platform. So there's been a tremendous amount of discussion. I mean, that's helped bring out that's helped the discussion about non-discrimination things and marriage equality bubble to the top of the national conversation. So I think that there is a natural sort of tendency for gay and trans people to kind of be the cultural rock stars at the moment. And
Yeah,
I think that's good. I think that's good, but I think that it's also potentially misleading about what the long-term entrenched support for gay and trans rights are.
I agree.
There's a lot of work to do at the local and the state level. You know, there are still 34 states that do not have sex and gender inclusion, sexual orientation and gender identity inclusion in their civil rights laws. 34. Yeah.
Hey, let's,
and I live in one of those states.
From the union. Kidding.
So what I was going to say is one of our viewers who's inside of the chat room right now, she asked a question. She said, what should allies of gay people do when they do more than just support, and what should straight people do when their sexuality is fluent and don't identify other than straight? Is that a clear question? Do you understand that?
What should allies do when they do more than just support? What does she mean more than support? Does she mean that she has a girlfriend and she's really lesbian? Is that what you mean, Joanna? Just kidding.
She says supporting versus activism.
I think, why would you not want to? I mean, I think you can just be just like a couch potato supporter and, oh yeah, gay rights, and retweet, or put on your Facebook, but do more, like show people, like you need to be the voice. You need to be the voice of an ally. You need to live as an ally. So if you see somebody out there who is making fun of gay people, encounter pastors who are saying, well, they're going to hell, just have an open discussion about it. I mean, don't be like, oh yeah, well, you're going to hell, but have an open discussion about it. I mean, you don't have to wave a rainbow flag if you don't want to, but especially like in the workplace or in your school, if, join the Gay Straight Alliance, even as an ally, because we need more people stand up for gay rights. Go to Pride. If there's a Pride in your area, go to Pride. See what you can do to help out there, whether it's passing out flyers, join an organization organization that focuses on AIDS or HIV or something like that. Like, be involved. Don't just sit there. I mean, I think and it's good that you're watching this because we're not just sitting there. It's time that we move. Again, there's a positive shift going on in this world for transgender, gay people, lesbians, everything. It's wonderful. You know, let's celebrate. Instead of, oh, I'm gay, I'm straight. Let's change all that, and in the future, just I'm a person, and I love, my spouse, whether it's man, woman, whatever. It's just I love my lover, whether it's a husband, wife, same sex, opposite sex, transgender. It doesn't matter. Let's make it normal.
Yeah.
I think that there's a. Go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Amy.
No, I was going to say I think that there is a middle ground between the silent supporter and the activist, and as advocacy. It's not necessarily being politically activist, although ultimately that's what's going to change. That's what's going to move the civil rights needle in America. But there is a difference, and Vicki, you alluded to it. Attend your Pride event. Be willing to be seen. Be out, and be out about being a supporter or.
Well, can I say what I do?
People, sure.
Well, what I do as far as supporting gay rights and making a difference is I'm a singer, so sometimes, like for my New Year's Eve concerts that I did, I gave 10% of the proceeds to HRC. The Human Rights Campaign, and they're really big, proponents in the government. They have a lot of power, and some people don't like them. I hear some people say bad things about them. I don't really know why, because I think we need a powerful group like them that has a lot of money and influence. But we need that as gay people, as LGBT people. So I give money to them. I give my own money. I give money for my shows, and then also I talk about it. So I think people can give their money. That's pretty easy to do. You can give very small amounts or big amounts. And you can, if you're ever in the public eye, or not, I mean, you can talk to your friends about it, or just talk in public about it, because that will change things over time.
Right, there are a lot
Absolutely.
of really good
Bumper sticker. Put a bumper sticker on your car.
Right.
There are a lot of really good groups that do terrific work. HRC is one. If you are interested in political action, there's another organization. It's called the Victory Fund. I sit on the national campaign board for the Victory Fund, and we bundle money to help elect out gay and transgender politicians at whether they're Republican or Democrat or independent. At all levels of government, we helped to elect Denise Parker and Tammy Baldwin. There are a lot of ways to help without having to be out in the community as protesting for or against stuff.
Well, the topic of this room, I know it's gay rights. I guess that's so broad, and I feel, it's probably not the best conception over here, because for me, it feels like we have in San Francisco all the rights except we don't have marriage. But then the biggest...
Yeah.
I know there's states that don't, like Amy said, there's states that don't have, basic rights for gay people or protections. That's just ridiculous. I cannot believe that.
Yeah.
That is just stupid. I don't even know why that's happening right now. To me, the final frontier is marriage. And then, I feel like that will be the deal for us. For me personally, I can't think of other rights that I need where I live. But that's just where I live, and other people, where they live, it can be way worse. So,
yeah.
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 Georgia, same thing here.
All right, here's the thing is that, the issues surrounding equality, civil rights protections for, and not just LGBTQ folks, but, equality there is no end game for equality. And I think that unfortunately, that, please don't throw rocks and bottles at me. You have marriage equality support, marriage equality first supporters.
Uh-oh.
Marriage equality has in some ways invigorated the discussion around basic protections like in housing and employment, access to public accommodations. But it's also siphoned a lot of resources away from the battles that need to be won in states like Michigan, where you literally can be fired for being gay.
Wow.
Horrible.
And Jason, like you said, it's like you can't even imagine that in 2013 that you could be fired just because your boss, actually, even if your boss just thinks you're gay, or you could be denied a mortgage loan, or you could be evicted,
that is
denied service in a restaurant.
That's way more important, I would have to say.
So,
that's more important than marriage equality, because that's basic. That's really basic. So, like,
right?
For that
these. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I guess I shouldn't say more important than marriage equality. I don't know which one's more important, but I just feel like that is so basic that it really needs to be there, because that's just totally disgustingly wrong that someone could be fired for being gay, and that would happen in America and be okay. Although I bet it doesn't happen that much, or I would hope.
I'm not aware here in Georgia, but I know I've heard of similar things happening in this little country state of Georgia. Same thing and I find that ridiculous. Like, who does that? That's like that person who fires somebody just for being gay or denied service? Really? That's still going on in 2013? Deny service because you're transgender or because you're gay in a restaurant? Come on now. Now, I have a really good feeling that... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I have a really good feeling that Prop 8 is just, that marriage equality is going to happen. Like, I can feel it in the state of California. So hang in there, Jason. It's coming. It's coming. Marriage equality is coming. I can feel it. This is the year. This is the year. So, but
the Marriage Act out, too. Like, that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
It would be really great if DOMA, Defense of Marriage Act, was overturned. Of course, some people say that's unlikely, but it is possible. If that happened, I think the result is that all the anti-gay marriage laws in every state would be invalid.
No, actually, not with DOMA. No, not with DOMA. It actually a broad ruling on Prop 8 would do that, but it's unlikely.
That's what it was on Prop 8. Okay.
Yeah, a broad ruling, but I think that what's probably going to happen is that the Supremes are going to kick it back on what's called standing. They're going to kick Prop 8 back to the Circuit Court of Appeals in California, so it will be a very narrow ruling that will apply only to Prop 8 in California, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but we don't know for sure.
Right, we don't know for sure yet. That's true. They could surprise us.
It could, even though surprises aren't that common. But
right, if I could go back to the marriage equality versus some of what Jason, you were saying that those are the civil rights protections for LGBTQ folks.
Yeah.
Are way more important. Actually, I don't know about way more important, but what I would say is that they are foundational, and that the rights that come with marriage equality are sort of a natural extension of those other civil rights. But the good news is that the marriage equality discussion, that narrative across the nation right now, can piggyback on it a broader discussion and a deeper discussion about what sort of rights we deserve, what sort of protections we deserve that are fundamental to living in America. And I think those include non-discrimination protections in employment,
absolutely,
and non-discrimination protections in housing. And so there's the opportunity for a much broader conversation that can be leveraged with the marriage equality fight.
I
That's the good news.
guys, I just posted a link about marriage equality that HRC did, and it's a super simple chart, but it's really interesting. It gives every scenario of what could happen with the ruling of the Supreme Court on those two cases, and what would happen if they approved one or the other, or not one or the other, how they approved it. So it's pretty interesting, but I don't know. I'm really excited that maybe, well, at least we can have marriage equality in California, but it would be really nice everywhere. And
Absolutely.
our own President Obama, supported it publicly, which was huge, and I know it was in reaction to polls, because America is now more supportive of marriage equality than ever before, like over 50%, which meant that the president was safe to say that when he said it. But even though it's political, it's still really powerful and wonderful, and it propelled it even further by him saying that. And then it really caused reactions, like in the different communities, like the African American community, the Christian community. People had to start discussing it and thinking about it, and maybe being a little bit more open-minded about it. And then people that are really surprising started coming out and supporting as well. Like Jay-Z, the famous rapper, did a video on YouTube where he said, "I support marriage equality," and I was like, yes!
Yeah.
When people like in the rap community support marriage equality, that's so awesome. And I'm pretty sure Nicki Minaj does. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So guys, just what I was quickly going to say is, you can definitely carry on this discussion. In a couple of minutes, though, I'm going to have to leave and end the recording because I have another discussion starting on like Israel-Palestine, which is another subject we host discussions on. So, yeah.
Hey, thanks everybody.
No, so what I was gonna say is that we're happy to have you guys on again, and there are some people inside the chat room that have been listening and have been submitting questions. So if you want to hang around to answer any others that they might have questions, that is, you're welcome to. And otherwise, I'll put my Facebook name inside the text chat, and you guys can definitely friend me on Facebook because ultimately we put together a schedule each weekend. And it might be a little bit easier to do that through Facebook as opposed to 140 characters on Twitter. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, so if you want to friend request me, feel free. And I just wanted to thank you each for your time, and I'll definitely send this over to you when the recording's on YouTube. All right?
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks.
You got it.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, this was fun. I'll post my Facebook as well.